What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I know, please don't be mad at me. I know it's been a month. I know. Please don't be mad at me. I had a lot of stuff in the personal life. I've had photo shoots, I've had work, I've had things I need to take care of. But today we are still following the Harry Potter franchise, but this time it is with a movie review of the newest movie, which is Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore, which came out on April 15th, so a little bit over a month ago. I thought it was really good. So this takes place at the end of the Fantastic Beasts era, which is kind of why I put it in between.
Sorry, Titty.
The last movie, which we talked about, the Fantastic Beasts era, the Adventures of Newt, all of that, and before the next video, which is canon, Harry Potter, the 7 books, all of that. That's gonna be a long video, so prepare. So, kind of like a rundown of what we're going to talk about is, so we did the 3 ratings. So we have Rotten Tomatoes, my rating, and then my roommate's, because she went and saw it with me.
I'm the roommate. I have my towel on.
My roommate. And she went and saw it with me, so...
Too many times.
Too many times is very right. I've seen it. You've seen it, what, twice?
Together. You've seen it 3 times.
So, she's seen it twice. I've seen it 3 times. So...
It's sad.
Yeah, kind of. And then we'll average out for the overall rating. Then we'll kind of talk about the plot. And then I'll kind of explain to you...
I need to get my phone charger. My phone's about to die.
I'll kind of explain, what I thought of the movie, what I thought was good, what I thought was bad, and what I kind of want to see for the next movie, if there is a next movie. We have not confirmed if they're having a next movie or not, because the reviews have been really, really, really mixed. So the rating that the Rotten Tomatoes, the website Rotten Tomatoes gave it, was a 6.5 out of 10. And according...
Don't mind me, I'm going to be blasting my music, so don't mind me.
And one of the critics said, "It's fair to say that chief blame for this disaster of the series lies with Rowling and Warner Brothers, who plunged headfirst into a prequel trilogy without having absorbed any of the lessons suffered by any of would-be franchise extenders." So this movie got a lot of mixed reviews. Some people really, really liked it. Some people thought it was absolute dog shit. I'm kind of in the middle here. I thought it was really good, but at the same time, there are things that I would rather, be worked on and stuff. So, let's get into it. Hold on, I have to find my list, because now I have, a whole thing that I need to go into. I was not adequately prepared for this video. Don't blame moi. I realized I hadn't posted in a month and I needed to get content out, so... Oh my god, Ashley. My dog just ripped ass. Gotta find it. Okay. So, other than that, Taylor gave it a 9 out of 10, and her reasoning of why it wasn't a perfect score was it was super slow at the beginning. And it was, super confusing at the beginning. She didn't understand what was happening. Unnecessary gore. And what I mean by that is that right at the opening, several animals are killed for no apparent reason. Obviously, there is a reason behind the madness, but still, you didn't really have to show it on screen for us to understand what was happening. She's a vegetarian, so she doesn't really like that. Understandable. Wish they would have talked more about the past of Grindelwald and Dumbledore, this movie is literally called The Secrets of Dumbledore. And the only thing we really get into is the blood pact and the fact that Dumbledore and Grindelwald fell in love. And we kind of learn a little bit more about Ariana Dumbledore and how she died and all of that. And we meet Aberforth. But other than that, like the main points that people already know, we don't really dive too deep into that. And that was kind of disappointing because that's literally what the movie was called. The Secrets of Dumbledore. If they were going to call it that, then they kind of need to focus more on Dumbledore as a character rather than all of this. She's just watching me like, what are you talking about? In my rating, it was super slow at the beginning. Obviously, same as Taylor's. The death scene was very, very gory. I mean, like, lots of blood. This animal was a baby, too. Like, why? Was very off-putting for me. Like, I was like, what the fuck? It's like, that was not necessary. You could have... Okay, if you had just killed it mercifully, that would have been different, but, like, it, like, was killed in a horrific way, and then it's just seen lying there dead. Which is like, no. Also, there's an unknown time jump type thing. We know it starts, okay, so the third movie takes place after the second movie, after the events of Paris, but we're not really sure how long. I think it was like maybe a year or two, if that, but it's not really specified, at least from what I can tell. So if you guys know, please comment down below because I would love to know, because of that, it left me with more questions than answers. Also, like, the ending, like the battle scene, I was kind of hoping for the big battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, but we didn't get that, so I'm hoping that can kind of happen, because that would be great. So it honestly, that kind of confused me, because I was like, I'm not really sure what happened with that. So, after we did the math, we took the 6.5 out of 10, the 9, and the 8. We did it, and the average rating between the three of us is a 7.83 out of 10, which will average to about 3 or 4 stars. So that's still really good. It's, I mean, could have been better, could have been worse. Okay, hold on. We're just going to read some of the reviews that people say about it. But, so kind of let's explain the plot a little bit. So it's basically Professor Albus Dumbledore knows Grindelwald wants to take control of the wizarding world and is on the rise to power. Unable to stop him alone, Dumbledore assembles a team led by mazoologist Newt Scamander and several witches and wizards. Joining them is the lovable Muggle baker Jacob Kowalski. But as the stakes continue to rise and secrets are revealed, will Dumbledore be able to stay on the sidelines? That's basically all I can give you without giving away a lot of the plot. Unless you guys want me to dive into that, then that would be quite fun. But can't do that, because that would ruin it for you guys. But yes, eventually Dumbledore does join the fight, but it's a little too late, if you know what I mean. Like, he has this big old plan, and it ends up with a lot of people almost dying, and all of that. Like, I was like, no! Like, I was just like, oh my goodness. So kind of moving on to, like, what I think of the movie. It was really, really good. Like, I really liked it. I mean, I've seen it 3 times, and the overall rating it got was a 7, almost an 8 out of 10. So, I'm super excited as to where the franchise would be going, because there are so many unanswered questions at this point. Like, are Newt and Tina gonna get married? Is Theseus ever gonna find love again? There are a lot of just unanswered questions about some of the characters that I would love to have answered. So please, Warner Brothers, if you see this video, please make me another movie so I can get my questions answered, because I would love that. I would literally love that if you could do that for me. I really can't wait to see where his new adventures will take him, because there is still so much potential that Newt could have. Like, Newt is still pretty young in these movies, so he has, like, an entire lifetime. This takes place in, like, the 1930s. Newt doesn't die till the 90s. So, I would absolutely love to see where this would go. Because I think it takes place, like, late 30s, early 40s. So, there's, like, a 50 to 60 year time period right there. So, please answer some questions for me. It had definitely great character development for Theseus, Jacob. Like, we got to kind of meet Theseus a little bit more. He got a little bit more screen time, which I absolutely loved, because Callum Turner did an amazing job. Let me make sure I said his name right. I think I said his name right. I hope I said it right. Yeah, Callum Turner did an amazing job. Like, they all did an amazing job. It was like they were made for these characters. Jacob, we got to see a little bit more of him, and we got to see him reeling from the events of the second movie, where Queenie joins the dark side and everything. And I thought that was really good, because he was truly in love with Queenie, and we kind of got to see how losing that loved one affected him and made him willing to join the fight. Fight the good fight, I guess. And even Albus himself, even though we didn't really get to see a lot of him, we still kind of learned more about him. Like, some things were dug deeper into, especially the Aberforth-Albus feud, and Jude Law did an amazing job, how that affects their brotherhood, because each one of them carries this immense guilt for what happened to their sister, and it's slowly tearing their brothership apart, because each of them carries this massive amount of guilt, but they continue to blame each other. So I thought there was great character development. We also got introduced to a lot of new characters. Aberforth made an appearance for, like, we got to see him, what he looked like young, and the actor who played him did an amazing job, chef's kiss. And we got to meet a new professor. I believe she's the charms professor. Her name is Lolly Hicks. And she's just, like, smart as a whip. I love her. Great. The only thing that bothered me is I kind of felt like she was replacing Tina. Like, that, and that just makes me upset, because, like, Tina was promoted in the first two movies as the female and protagonist, and we saw none of her in this movie. And I felt like Lolly, while she brought her own thing to the movie, was kind of replacing her. And it kind of made me upset. But Lolly, she was so funny. Her character was such, like, comedic relief. But she was, like, smart as a whip. Definitely worth watching, even if you don't like it. Just watch it for her. Because, like, she's just, like, amazing. And there are some things that I unfortunately did not like with that. For example, while we had learned that Credence's character was a Dumbledore, he kind of seemed to fall back in time. Like, he just wasn't. I understand that they were trying to, like, channel his, like, inner angsty teen, I guess. It's kind of what I would see it as like, showing as he's going through a lot. The Obscurus is taking control, and I love how they express that. But at the same time, I honestly felt like Credence was just turning into an older version of what Snape would turn out to be. Like, just dressed in black, the long hair. Yes, while Credence was a very, very powerful wizard. Sorry, I'm tired. It felt like he kind of was just, like, dressed like he was channeling his inner angsty teen back in the 1930s. Like, which is something I didn't really like. Like, the only person who was on the bad side who wasn't dressed in dark colors was, like, the female version of Bellatrix for Grindelwald. She was the only one who wasn't dressed in, like, black or gray. She had this stunning blue dress, which I guess is why it was supposed to make her, like, stand out to people. But I didn't like how they depicted him. I felt really bad because he came all this way for him to kind of just turn out like that. At this point, it felt like for me, especially with Credence, because, like, hi, I'm a huge Credence fan. Like, I kind of related to him in the first two movies with, like, how he felt and stuff. I felt like he was a fill-in character, which kind of made me sad. Kind of understand with the whole Ezra Miller thing right now, that he's not in the greatest standings with Warner Brothers, but he was just a fill-in character, which I thought was kind of stupid because, again, the name of the movie is Secrets of Dumbledore. And if Credence was supposedly a secret of one of the Dumbledore brothers, then why didn't he have more standing in the movie? But I also felt like, I understand, like, you have to have it in a certain amount of time or people get bored. I understand that. And that's how that happens. It just kind of felt rushed and everyone was just, like, waving their wands around and, like, you know. Like, it just felt rushed, and I didn't like it. But it was still good. Just, like, the super, like, drags out, and then everything happens in the last 30 minutes. Like, add a little bit of action in between. And when people aren't falling asleep. That's why people didn't like it, was because they felt like it dragged out, and then everything happened in, like, the last 45 minutes. I also didn't like Tina, who was literally the female lead in the first two movies, made no appearance at all, other than in a picture, and that's it. Like, she didn't make any appearance until the end of the movie. At this point, she's being used as basically a romance person for a love interest for Newt, which is kind of unfair because she worked all this way to get like that into the background. Also, in Queenie, it felt like she was just a filler character. In Queenie Goldstein, she literally could have so much potential. Like, because of, she's a legitimist, I think, is how you say it. She has so much potential. She could open up so many doors for people. And I guess that's why she played a little bit of a bigger part. I also understand that the actress was pregnant, so there's not a lot they could do. I just felt like she was just a filler character, and overall, there wasn't a lot of female presence in this movie. Like, other than Lolly Hicks, the other female leads had almost no significance, which kind of makes me mad. Like, as a teenage girl, as a young adult woman, I would like to see more female presence in movies, because that's something I watch. I watch a lot of movies. I would love to see more female leads. So, my recommendation for the next movie, if you're going to make one, please, for the love of God, add more female movie. Add more female presence, because you want to reach out to everyone. Not just that. Also, kind of, since we're kind of talking about this, we would like to see, what else would you kind of like to see from J.K. Rowling or Warner Brothers? Harry Potter is a super popular franchise, which means there are Fantastic Beasts, there's the Marauders era, there's the Golden era, There's the Next Generation. I understand that there's a play about that, but I would love to see a movie about that. Like, I don't know why Fantastic Beasts was picked when you could cover things that were more. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because I absolutely love Fantastic Beasts. But I would like to see kind of like what you could do with the Marauders era or the Next Gen era. Because those are two doors that you could open without doing anything like bad. So that is it, guys. I know this is a little bit of a shorter video, but yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys soon.